Oh my goodness. And this is just the tampering period. Welcome back to Sports Talk with Hawk, everybody. It is NFL, free agency, frenzy, rampant on a Monday night. Holy cow. What a day one of the tampering period in free agency. League year has not even opened yet. That does not open till Wednesday. Nothing that we heard today, or I should say, most of what we heard today, can all technically still change. Wow. So let's just go. Let's just dive in. First of all, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for stopping by. It's your first time here. Welcome to the Football Talk with Hawk podcast. Man, we got a lot to talk about tonight. Woo-wee, do we got a lot to talk about. I got two 20-ounce drinks sitting right next to me to make sure my throat stays away from being dry because, oh man. So, let's talk quarterbacks. Let's talk quarterbacks. Obviously, Russell Wilson, we said it last week, or I said it last week. Russell Wilson to the Steelers, I thought was going to happen. I didn't see the Raiders taking a chance on him. I really didn't see the Vikings wanting to take a chance on him. I felt the Steelers would. He's got a lot of money he's still getting from the Broncos. And this is a prove-it year for Russell Wilson. The numbers aren't completely finalized yet as of the making of the podcast. But it's only a one-year deal. One. That really screams to me. That screams to me Tomlin's trying to see what he can do this year. What it screams. Like, that's it. I think Tomlin knows he's done at the end of the year. Tomlin's bringing in Wilson. Play with him for a year. See what they can do. And then who knows, maybe Tomlin, if he takes over a team at the end of this year, maybe he brings Russell with him. Very, very good opportunity for that to happen. So we'll see how this works. I like the signing for the Steelers. I don't think it really changes much because I don't believe in Russell Wilson. I would much rather have Kirk Cousins than Russell Wilson. Much rather have Kirk Cousins. You don't question whether or not Kirk Cousins is engaged. And Atlanta knew this. Atlanta is a freaking genius. So I want to lay out, there's a couple contracts that are absolutely beautifully done. The GMs have made some amazing contractual moves this offseason. Okay? The contracts protect the teams. So both of them are QB contracts that I want to talk about. Kirk Cousins in Atlanta. $90 million guaranteed. Basically, this contract is broken down at $40 million a year. But all of the guaranteed money is in the first 2 years. So essentially, they're going to have Kirk Cousins for 2 years be their quarterback, no matter what, period. If you're number 3, something's looking off, they will cut him year number 4, no dead money. His fully guaranteed amount of money is already done. No dead cap. It is a smart contract for a young team that is looking at this going, we can win this division, and they can. You guys know I love Atlanta. I love what they do. And now my guess is for Atlanta, Dallas Turner at number 8, hands down. Hands down. Dallas Turner, to me, is a freaking fantastic pick now for Atlanta. It gives them the other linebacker. They got Bud Dupree on one side. I think they're going to be playing around with some mid-tier free agents in the middle, drafting Dallas Turner, and then signing potentially, I think the Falcons go after KJ Osborne, whom Kirk Cousins knows from Minnesota. But I think they bring him over to be able to run the slot with Atlanta. And I like that move a lot. Atlanta knows what they're trying to accomplish. They've got the best quarterback in the division now. The second best quarterback is probably in Tampa Bay, which also has a really good contract. It's a 3-year deal. $30 million is guaranteed year 1, $10 million is guaranteed year 2 and year 3. So you only are on the hook for $10 million in year 2 and 3. If you cut them. If you cut him. What a move. You've got Mike Evans for 2 years. Mike Evans is a 2-year, $52 million deal. Baker Mayfield's guaranteed money is all front-loaded as well. 2 years, let's see what we can do. Atlanta and Tampa Bay honestly have the best shot there is in that division. Because Carolina, who we'll get to in a second, I don't know what the crap they're doing. So quarterback-wise, you got Russell Wilson to the Steelers, 1-year deal. Mayfield to the Bucks, stays with the Bucks, 3-year deal. Kirk Cousins, 4-year deal. Gardner Minshew. I told you guys I was wondering if this was going to happen. I said that, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, when I was going through everybody who could be a free agent or who could be moving. I said, Minshew's an interesting one. Quarterback-needy teams could take a flyer on a top-end backup and still draft a quarterback. Gardner Minshew wanted a chance to start. He's got a 2-year deal worth $25 million. Very, very friendly deal for the Raiders for the quarterback. That's actually a really friendly deal for the quarterback. Jacoby Brissett got a 1-year, $8 million deal from the Patriots. Now, I think that's fantastic for them as well. A adult, solid backup quarterback in that room. I think it's perfect. Mitch Trubisky, we talked about already, signing to the Bills. It's a cheap deal. They're not paying him anything. But they needed somebody who could run the offense if something happens to Josh. It makes complete sense. Tyrod Taylor, off the board. He gone. Capable backups. We said this. Tyrod Taylor, Jacoby Brissett, Gardner Minshew. We knew they were going to be sought after because they are very capable. They can win you a game, 2, potentially 3. They can be adults. It's not the highest skill. It's the fact they don't let the ship sink. That's what matters. I don't like Minshew. I don't think he deserves $13 million a year. But he did have a good year. If people watch film, it's not that good of a year. But he had a good year with Indy. Now, speaking of Indy, what the crap? Yes, you're going to listen to me whine because the Colts, again, have not had any news on their outside free agents getting anybody big. Nor aggressive moves to fix anything. Michael Pittman gets $23 freaking million a year. What are we doing? What are we doing? He had 4 touchdowns last year. 1 receiver. Number 1 receiver. Had 4 touchdowns. Yeah, let's pay him $23 million a year. Why? Why? Overpaid for a receiver. Badly. In contrast, Gabe Davis gets $13 million from the Jaguars. $10 million a year less than Michael Pittman for the same productivity. Same. Now, I will say the Colts did a much better job. Zaire Franklin gets a 3-year deal worth $30 million. That number I am okay with. We were trying to pay Darius Leonard $17 the last time we made a linebacker move like this. That one was a dumb move. Can't do that. Sign Grove back. But we didn't go after anybody yet. They're not being aggressive. They're not trying to go and win. The Texans, however, shocker. The Texans get Els Alshir, linebacker. They are completely switching around what they do. They got Danico Autry, who is a Colt killer. Colts let him go. He gets at least 2 sacks every game when he was with the Titans, and now he's with the Texans. He was cheaper than Jonathan Grenard, who, congratulations to him, got paid. He got overpaid by Minnesota. And the Texans aren't done. They got a cheaper version that has the exact same productivity. Good move by Houston. The front office has been smart. Oh, yeah, and by the way, they also got Darnell Savage. They let Xavier McKinney walk. They had to. They had to. He got a huge contract. Darnell Savage, smart move. Not going to lie. The Texans look really good. Being conservatively aggressive. Yes, I said those 2 words in the same sentence. Conservatively aggressive. Conservative with their money, aggressive with who they can get with it. That is how you GM. And that is how you build a contending team that can win for years. That's how you do it. The Jaguars shored up their offensive line. They signed Mitch Morse, the former center in Buffalo, to protect Trevor Lawrence. They also make a genius move, and here's why it is genius. I know a bunch of people were questioning. Here's why it's genius. Mac Jones is not going to command a big market. He's not. 1 good year, 2 sucky years. It's the reality. 1 big year, 2 sucky years. He's going to go be a backup to Trevor Lawrence. He's going to go get in Doug Peterson's offense. Jacksonville just admitted to you how much they absolutely screwed up the Trevor Lawrence injury. You want to know how much they screwed it up? Look at this signing. This signing proves how bad they flubbed up Trevor Lawrence. They understand that he never should have played in the game against Cleveland. They understand he probably shouldn't have even played in the game against the Buccaneers when he got hurt again. They get it. They just admitted we screwed it up. Mac Jones is there to be able to start when Lawrence is hurt. And all it really cost them was a 5th-round pick. And now they've got a quarterback that can at least run the offense. Inside the building, they didn't want C.J. Beathard starting. They felt an injured Trevor Lawrence was better than a healthy C.J. Beathard. And that's not good. So this pickup is a great pickup for the Jacksonville Jaguars. They get Gabe Davis. They get all their offensive line set up. I like it. They're smart. They're making moves they got to make. All right. Another team making moves. Another team making moves. The Panthers. Told you we were going to get to them. I need to take a drink before this one. All right. Okay. So there's one focus that is very clear. They shored up their offensive line. To their credit, they shored up their offensive line. They got Robert Hunt, the ex-guard from the Miami Dolphins. Big contract. And then they signed another guard. 2 guards. They have a left tackle. They technically have a right tackle. The center is still really weak. Not going to lie, I don't like the center, either one of their center options. Don't like either one of them. It's all right. They got 2 guards now to help protect Bryce Young. Then they made this boneheaded move. They traded Brian Burns, who I have told you guys ever since talking about this team. I said he was their only trade piece that was legitimate. They traded Brian Burns to the Giants for a second and a fifth. The guy just got $150 million deal with the Giants now. $30 million a year, and you only got a second round pick and a fifth. Luke Combs, big Panther fan, actually took to Twitter to ask ownership and the GM what they were doing. Because when they traded Christian McCaffrey, they didn't get a number 1 pick. Then, that looks like the dumbest move in the world at this point. One of the absolute, I mean, that was bad. McCaffrey now goes on to be, he was that level caliber of a running back. Brian Burns with the Giants. I like it. I do like it. They run a 43. They're going to play this. He's going to be the rush end. They're going to let him go. He's not stuck in a 34 where he's a, I mean, you guys remember, this was my reminiscing when I was talking about the 34 and why the 34 was so rough back originally. So back in the days, the early thousands, late 90s, early 2000s, 2010, okay? Why the 34 was so dominant for 12 years, 12, 15 years. And this is what I said. The Patriots outdid the Colts because of the 34. And what was so hard about it? You didn't know who was doing what. You had big bodies in the middle of the defensive line. Your left end, your defensive end for the Patriots was 300-pound Richard Seymour. Your defensive freaking tackle was 330-pound Vince Wilfork. The Steelers, their left outside linebacker was Aaron Smith, 279 pounds. Willie McGinnis was technically a linebacker in the Patriots' 34 defense. The Chargers ran a 34, what I call 34 big. They ran big defensive linemen, Jamal Williams, big old nose tackle, They ran big, big defensive line, quick linebackers. Sean Merriman, Sean Phillips. The Jets, Sean Ellis. Not really a rush end. He was big. He was a 34 end. The Jets were built with a 34 big. Rex Ryan played a 34 big. That's what made it so hard. Nowadays, it's not the same because the types of defenses are getting skewed. Because is Micah Parsons a 43 rush end? I don't know. I think he's more a true linebacker, which is kind of the type of defense Dallas was running. Now, the Rams do run a 34. The Falcons, my guess is they're going to run a 34. And that's going to work really well, especially if they're able to get Dallas Turner. The Giants are running a 43. Brian Burns' hand will be in the dirt. He's going to be rushing the quarterback straight up. It's a great move for the Giants. They still hold on to their They still hold on to the number 6 pick in the draft. So they didn't lose a bunch of opportunity. And now, honestly, at this point, they may be able to get a lot of offers, trade back, recoup that second round pick, and really continue moving on from there. I like the way it's set up. All right, let's pivot to another team in the NFC East, the Philadelphia Eagles. Very active. Very active. They go get Saquon Barkley. They go get Bryce Huff. Big moves. They tried to get Jason Kelce to come back. They tried. Offered him a lot of money and offered him basically a fully guaranteed contract. They know what he means to the offensive line. Don't think that they don't. Don't think that they don't. Because they do. But I like the moves. You needed to make them. Bryce Huff on a defensive line with Jalen Carter. Big old Jordan Davis. They brought Brandon Graham back. I think he's going to be, I think they're going to try to be smart with him. Fletcher Cox retires, which I kind of saw coming. Good for him. Jason Kelce, Fletcher Cox, longtime Philadelphia Eagle players. Absolutely deserve Philadelphia love. No doubt. Philadelphia's going all in. They're going all in. Saquon, to me, is an interesting push. They took him from the Giants, interdivision rival. But here's the bigger thing. If he's healthy, I think this really helps the offense. But I still don't think they outdo Washington. Washington made a really puzzling move as far as I'm concerned. You guys know I love Brian Robinson Jr., the running back they have. They also signed Austin Eckler, the running back from the Chargers. Now, This is not normally what a defensive coach does, okay? But think about this. Cliff Kingsbury gets another running back to be able to use, another receiving back. He can run the ball, he can catch the ball. I like the dual running back options for a rookie quarterback. Why? They can pass protect. They got Zach Ertz, the tight end. So they can run a lot of two running back shotgun sets and put a lot of pressure on that defense, on that linebacking core in particular. I'm puzzled by the signing, but I like it all at the same time. It's a good 1-2 punch. Really good 1-2 punch. All right, let's close this out. I don't want to. I could go all night. We know this. I told you guys I don't want to get. The podcast can't go forever. I can't have them go forever. I was joking with somebody. Was joking. It was going to be a 90-minute podcast to cover everything. And honestly, really hearing about probably starting the end of next week, I'll be going down team by team who they signed, what the contracts were, etc. We'll be running through all the teams, just like I normally do. I don't leave you guys hanging. We'll go through every single signing by every single team. So let's go with the Lions. The Lions have made some good moves. We'll go over them tomorrow. But let's go over some of the cuts. Okay, some of the cuts. David Bakhtiari was released by the Packers. They had to. He's been injured. He's missed 41 games the last 3 years. That's a lot. They had to release him. For a young team who's trying to make moves, they had to release him. Eric Armstead, San Francisco 49ers, 9-year player, released. Aaron Jones. This one really puzzles me. Why Aaron Jones was released from Green Bay just to sign another often injured running back in Josh Jacobs, I do not understand. Aaron Jones is an absolute monster when he's healthy. I don't get this deal at all. Aaron Jones, if I'm the Minnesota Vikings, this is the guy I'm going after now. I mean, I am going after Aaron Jones. Like, with fervor. With absolute fervor. Because they are running back needy. They need a guy that can run. They need a guy that can take that bull rush mentality. And if he's healthy, it's a perfect fit. But Aaron Jones gets released. Another release. Joe Mixon was released from the Cincinnati Bengals. They got cheaper. They signed Zach Moss from the Cincinnati Bengals to the Cincinnati Bengals. From the Indianapolis Colts to the Cincinnati Bengals, cheap. Very cheap. Extremely cheap. You had some interesting cuts. You definitely had some interesting cuts. Not going to lie. The way it's all played, the way it all played out, it was definitely interesting. What's going to happen? Let's go to what was the most impactful thing from, once again, this is tampering period. This is not league year opening. This is day one of tampering, not league year, guys. Not league year. At the end of it, we had a lot of guys be able to re-sign. Leonard Williams, I believe, I read, just read before coming on, re-signed with the Seahawks. That's a big deal for them. That's actually a really big deal for them. Leonard Williams was going to be a big part of that defense. That was a very big deal for them. I like that move. Simple, it's subtle, but you needed to keep the team together. McDonald does not want to lose a guy like Leonard Williams, nor did the Seahawks after paying a draft pick for him. So good for them, they got him re-signed. Teams are slowly coming in to being able to re-sign their guys that just they didn't want to leave. Will Lutz, the kicker for the Broncos, had the offer from the Jacksonville Jaguars. At the end, the Broncos came in, basically matched what the Jaguars offered, and he's like, I don't want to move. I'll stay here. Might as well. Like, no kidding. Duh. You don't want to move. You got a good contract offer. I ain't moving. Why are you moving? I ain't doing it. Surely I'm not doing it if I don't have to. The Jaguars now need a kicker, though. This is kind of an interesting one because Brandon McManus got signed by Washington, which, by the way, is huge for them because they had a lot of kicking issues last year with Joey Sly. Massive leg, just not really accurate. Now, granted, McManus had a ginormous leg in Denver. Last year with the Jags, kind of struggled a little bit, not going to lie. So hoping he can regain his full form. But I think what you're going to notice, and I think I said this last week, once again, there's 3 podcasts that did not make it to the channel. But once again, what I believe you're going to see is the little signings are going to make a big difference. The teams that are able to sign players for cheap. One of the biggest ones, the Lions. Graham Glasgow signed a majorly friendly deal. And it was it's absolutely amazing. They've signed players to short contracts, and it's 1,000% exactly what needed to be done. 1,000%. All right, guys, coming up on the 40-minute mark, and we're going to end it. I want to make sure these guys are these podcasts are able to be listened to by you guys on your way to work. I can ramble forever because I love football, and football is in a complete frenzy right now. So I am already looking forward to tomorrow night when we get to talk about football again. But guys, for now, that's going to be it. Day one in a nutshell. Money for players on the offensive side, defenders on the outside, the rushers, get the quarterback, getting the quarterback, protecting the quarterback. It's all mattering. They're all getting paid. They're all getting paid. And don't worry, we will go down the complete list when we get to a more settled time in a free agency. All right, guys, that is going to be it for me tonight. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you so much for listening. This is Sports Talk with Hawk. I am Hawk, and I'm out.